Hey there, welcome back. I'm Stacy. Question for the day. Do you ever think you know better than the other person does? Of course you do. You are empathetic and compassionate. You want what is best for the other person. Recently, I've realized that we each have our own experiences to live, and interference in someone's life may not be just unwelcome, it may not be beneficial. It's not that any good thought that comes my way to help someone isn't shared with them. It's more like, hmm, why am I pushing my perspective on them? Maybe they are supposed to figure this out on their own. I might have phrased my advice in the past as, what you should do is this, because I'm the expert. Now it may be voiced more like, I think I would do this, but it may not be the path you feel is best for yourself. I still feel a need to offer my advice if I think I can be helpful, but now I pull back earlier because I don't want to influence someone to go down a path that they ultimately shouldn't be on. I have veered off the course I should be on over the years, and there were probably those who could see that the path forward for me was in error. But my stubbornness made it so I needed to pursue the route I thought was best at the time. I've never been fond of the saying, I told you so. Maybe it's my humble side shining through. But as I reflect on that statement, maybe it's more of a, you had to live through this experience, even though my logic did make sense, at least to me. As in, don't touch the hot stove, yet you do so anyway. Side note, a waitress once brought a plate to my mother at a restaurant and said, be careful, the plate is hot. Next thing I know, my mom says, ow! I said, why did you touch that plate? Mom said, I wanted to know what her version of hot was. Anyway, there are lessons to be learned for each of us. Rather, there are experiences to be experienced. Why did we go through this situation? How has this circumstance led us to be who we want to be? Sometimes a person is put in our path to bring to the forefront the logic of a decision. We aren't listening to our intuition about a situation, so we need to actually hear the words coming from an outside source. It reminds me of the story of the person who refused to get help to safety. The rains had caused a woman to be unable to leave her home. A police officer came knocking at her door to help the woman escape. But the woman said, no thanks, God will save me. After the rain had fallen for a day, the police officer came by in a boat to take the woman away. But the woman said, no thanks, God will save me. Finally, after 3 days of rain and the woman had been forced to her roof, the police officer came to rescue her in a helicopter. And again, the woman said, no thanks, God will save me. No more help came, and the woman perished. When she got to heaven, she asked God why she hadn't been saved. God replied, I sent help several times, but you refused each one. Most of us want to give positive messages to our loved ones, but those loved ones may not be receptive. It's often hard to let them figure it out. We have a responsibility to make sure we stay on our path, though. We may need to let go of others' paths after providing our insight. When do we know that we have offered enough insight? That enough make it easier to see the more we begin to pull back. And it is possible our advice is not in the other person's best interest. I know that's hard to believe, but perhaps they are to experience the pain of a path we wish to prevent. Let me say that in a different way. Perhaps they are to experience a path we don't want them to have to go through, but which will be best for them in the long run. Nashoda Rosa wrote, sometimes people need to take the wrong path in order to lead them to the right one. Do something today to raise your vibration, allowing the earth's vibration to rise as well. I pray for light, love, and protection to be around each of you. Take care.